You're listening to TalkTainmentRadio.com.
The views and opinions expressed are those of the host and guest and not necessarily those of TalkTainmentRadio.com, the management, the staff, or K&E World Network, LLC.
Hello. This is Dr. Bass Claude Smith, and welcome to the show. You're listening to Talktainment Radio, and the show is called Stairway To Heaven. My topic today is madness and sorrow. I'll get a little bit on that, but first I want to say that to my shout-outs to Core Lab, to my co-workers, my family, my sisters, and my wife, and all the other families. I got the keys. This show is brought to you by Refuge Baptist Church and the Keys of Harmony. With the Keys of Harmony, got something coming up in July, and we'll mention that later on down. But my topic today is called sorrow and anger, and that's what is that. So I'd like to give my start off, give my dedication to, and my sitting goes to the people in Buffalo, New York. I am very, very, it goes to the families and goes to all the loved ones that lost, some that are women, some that are dead. And you know that it's hard when somebody comes through your neighborhood, don't live there, and don't have no business there, it wants to shoot up a bunch of people. And those 10 African Americans was minding their own business, doing shopping and everything. Security guard lost his life fighting the sniper. This gun thing has gone out of control. And anytime somebody 18 years old or something, that's a teenager to me, can go and buy an AR-15 and go through a neighborhood and wipe out some people, especially in an African-American neighborhood, and try to wipe out the whole neighborhood, that is no good. That is very, very bad. Them people were families. The people had families. The people were a little more close neighborhood, and it was closely built, closely loved. We have to learn that we have to try to learn to love each other and get together. Now, I don't know if these AR-15s or 17s, they're military rifles. Now, when I was in the military, we used M16s. But now they got these new AR-15s and 17s. Seems like everybody can go to a gun store and buy one and come. It's like shooting up an enemy. But like I suggested to them, those who had those AR-15s, let me tell you this. If you got one, go to the military. Because these are innocent people minding their own business, trying to enjoy themselves. I bet they was talking, laughing, joking, everything. The security guards, he had just put, from what I gather, he had just helping a lady putting groceries in her car. Now, I'm gonna say sniper. This sniper who has hate in his heart. And hate and don't know, and that's all he think about is hate. Whatever he looked at on that computer and found out, probably told a whole lot of stuff. And as far as I'm concerned, this stuff dates back, if I hope I'm correct, this stuff dates back a while back. It dates back from times where I'm gonna start like World War II, and it's beyond that, Civil War, and it's beyond that. When the African Americans were brought here as slaves, and after they got their freedom to go as they please and do what they can go, there was always a small bunch, a few that didn't like that, so they thought of something to say with hatred. We are all God's children. We are all loved by God. There's no in between, there's no color of skin, anything. Anytime somebody hates somebody or dislikes somebody because of the color of their skin and wants to do bodily harm, that he needs to be in a nut house. He needs to be where he could be examined. because you don't have something that you don't like. Best thing for you to do is walk away from it. So a lot of things I done had problems with and ran into, but I walk away from it. And just to keep myself calm. I have a little thing like when I get angry, my music covers me and comforts me down. And sometimes you have to find something to pull you together, some way to get rid of that anger. But this young man didn't have the guts or the sensibility to understand that these people are innocent people. And these people are trying to do their best. Like the other old man in South Carolina, I believe it was, a few years back, there was another shooting in South Carolina where this guy went into the church and shot up some African Americans. Even he shot the minister up. Well, they got him. But this young man, they got him too. And he has the nerve to plead not guilty. Something's wrong with his mind. And those people, like those Afro-Americans, brothers and sisters that lost their lives and everything, my heart and my prayers go out to that whole family. Everybody in that store. Number two, there's another shooting in Tulsa. And this was because a man was in pain. And he couldn't take he had back surgery and pain. He couldn't take it. So what he do? He goes to the hospital and kills a few people, then he kills himself. Then got one in the subway. There's another shooting in the subway. I don't know what's wrong with this, what happened to him, but he started spraying bullets. But in a way, he got caught. And that last but not least, the shooting in Texas. Audubon, I can't pronounce the name of the city. Those 11 Latinos, they were killed for no reason. Innocent babies, 2 teachers and 11 innocent babies, 9 and 10 years old. And this cat, age 18 years old. We got to stop this violence. We got to pull our heads together and get to say, hey, enough is enough. And I get tired. You know, I come home and look on the news and get tired of listening to somebody that done did some shooting. We cannot go anywhere. It seems like the schools are not safe. I just like saying this, the churches are not safe, the stores. Anywhere you go has become a shooting target. Right now, ladies, this here, the keys are harmony. Somebody touch me.
I say glory, 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 somebody touch me. Glory, 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 somebody touch me. Glory, somebody touch me. You know we up in the hands of the Lord, Early one Monday morning, somebody touch me. Monday afternoon, somebody touch me. Late in the midnight hour, somebody touch me. You know we up in the hands of the Lord. See, Tuesday I was reading in the book of Job. Somebody touch me. His affliction became upon Job. Somebody touch me. Job waited on the Lord. Somebody touch me. He waited until his changed. Hands of the Lord. See, Wednesday I was driving down the street. Somebody touch me. The Holy Ghost power began to move on my heart. Somebody touch me. Something touched me in the top of my head. Somebody touch me. You know it. In the hands of the Lord. See, over in the book of Mark, somebody touch me. A lady had a problem with her blood. Somebody touch me. She spent all of her money running to every physician and doctor. You know it. In the hands of the Lord. You see, Jesus was passing down the street. Somebody touch me. She had to make her way over. Somebody touch me. She had the faith of
Okay, that was the Keys of Harmony, and Somebody Touch Me. Let me say something about this right quick about the Keys of Harmony. We are having our 61st anniversary, and it's going to be at 487 Champion Bishop Jennings Church, and the stars at 5:00. And the stars are the Spiritual Brothers, JC and Spirituals, Little Terry and the Anointed Sons, 5 Stars Harmony and Keys of Harmony. Also, our MC, the great man himself, the Carrier of Straight Talk, and he will be there at MC in the program. It starts at 5:00, so get there and get your seat, and this should be a good show. Also, I like to say there's another anniversary. We got a lot of anniversaries coming up next month, and these are the Anointed Disciples. Their 11th anniversary, along with Blessed by 4, Nikki D and Brown. They from Toledo, Ohio. Pastor Marcus Newman. Then we got Gerald Mercer and Property, and the Fulton State Akron, and they will be at the. They'll be at Jordan's Bible Way Church on Woodward Avenue. That's where they'll be at. And they're going to, that's their 11th anniversary. But the Keys anniversary will be here on the July the 10th. And hey, we're looking for y'all to be here. Dad will be here to register all the songs, and he's know the full history of the Keys of Harmony. The set we got now, this is the third. I'm on the third set. I was with the first set, then I left, and then his sons took over at the first set had faded away. Now we got the third set, so they're really going strong. So really, as I said, they're part of this show. So be looking out for Dad. Be here next month. On celebrate the Keys anniversary. Now, getting back to this madness. Let me say this: this is not the only time shooting been around. I can remember during the time when I was living in Fort Worth, Texas. I went down there to help my sister out in Fort Worth, Texas, and she's gone now. They were shooting and killing each other up every day. There was 2 gangs there. One called themselves the Crips, the other one called the Bloods. And to get initiated in that gang, you will have to fight. The initiation was they want to see how tough you was, and the whole gang will jump you. And right there. Then the second time the other initiation is they will ride around and pick up somebody and then shoot somebody. That made them. That they're members in the gang. These guns they have now, they are very, very dangerous. It used to be people carry around 32s, 22s, 357s, but now they done up the game. They done up the power. The guns they got there so powerful now they outnumber the police. And this is sort of like during the 20s and 30s when Al Capone and they had the Tommy gun, Machine Gun Kelly, Babyface Nelson. They had the Tommy guns. John Dillinger. They had the Tommy guns. They were robbing banks. And still they were shooting people. But for somebody to buy an AR-15 and get in the car and go to a neighborhood and try to wipe that whole neighborhood out, that is a sick-minded man. Very sick-minded. And the way they're doing now, like I said, there's people in Buffalo. I just can't get over what happened there. I mean, they showed movie pictures of it, newsreel of it, and they're still talking. They're trying to figure out what went wrong. Now they got him, but what gave him the mind, the word to say that he is, he's not guilty. He is guilty. He's gonna always be guilty. And you just can't do something and get away with the law saying the judge asks what you play, I'm not guilty. You can't do that. You can't say not guilty because you know you're guilty yourself. You'll always be guilty for what you've done. And you just using that for an ego trip. Or they're using that just to get away. I'm sick or something like that. Say, well, they trying to find a reason to say not guilty by reason of insanity. You're not insane. You just mad and anger because you just don't like what you see. You can't stand people being together in a peaceful way or in a family way. You snipers, as one in every city, in every town, in every state. Let me say this to you snipers. You will always be a lone wolf. And someday, they're going to come after you. And when they do catch you, that's it. Because you have no right going in anybody's neighborhood trying to tear it up or shoot them down because you don't like them and you don't care about them. You just want to try to wipe out. You cannot wipe out God's people. We are God's people. You can't wipe out God's, because once you wipe out some, he got some more coming right behind them. Right behind them. Rebe King, Martin Luther King's granddaughter, she was on CNN this morning. And she said that is this generation coming behind us, they're going to try to do something and stop it. Because they feel that the older generation before them, we failed them. Well, in a way, I don't think we did, but in the way we did, we may not have done it. But, you know, when you try to do something and try to get it straight, there's always a few in the bunch wants to holler, no, we can't do this. They don't want to do it. We don't want you to do this. They tried not to do it. And they don't want you to, they rather keep the guns in their hands. A few years ago, famous president a few years ago, when that tried to get the guns off the streets and try to block it. But we had a few knuckleheads that blocked him. As long as the NRA is supporting these people, they gonna your snipers gonna always walk in a gun store. Number one, here's my suggestion, here's my rules. Number one, get the guns off, get the AR-15s off the street and give them back to the military. Let the military have it. Number two, should be a background check. And make sure you don't have a record or any type of felony on you before they sell you that gun. Number three, they say get training. I really believe that's what everybody, they need to get trained to shoot. But I don't think so. Because I think you just need to just take the AR-15s and give them to the military. I wouldn't sell no 18-year-old or 16-year-old. Pretty soon, somebody gonna be younger than that to try to get one. It's got to be somebody that's somebody that's old enough, know that person, trust them, is turning them towards that. And you know, if you keep on believing some of the stuff that we hear, some of the music that we hear today, and they talk about violence and who they shot. I've heard music talk about violence, how they shot and killed somebody, this and that and the other, because of certain things. And if you can believe that what they say, then you're wrong yourself. You got to try to turn it. Music's music, and I mean I'm a musician myself. Music is good music, and there's bad music. And right today we're listening to a lot of bad music, very much bad music, and we need to got to try to break away from that bad music. We are tired. I'm tired of hearing who shot John all the time. Even in the streets of Columbus, we got some shootings here. And one young man was on West Broad. He got shot. Him and his girlfriend both ran into the pillar on the bridge on West Broad. That's somebody shot them. Don't know. That's called snipers, close range sniper. And it's bad. It's really bad when you try to shoot. You start shooting people for no apparent reason at all. Even their fights. I read one down in there's a shooting in New Orleans at a graduation. That was a shooting. After graduate, they start shooting down there. And the list, like I said, the list goes on and on and on. On and on. Here's the Keys of Harmony. I'm getting older.
This song makes my mind run back to a long time ago when I was young. My granddad got sick one day and he had a stroke. Well, my mother and my father, they went to get my granddad to stay with us. Well, I spent a lot of time with my granddad after that. He had a garage out back where he used to build trailers and tear them down again and then rebuild them. Well, one day, he spoke to me and he said, "Gene, you're getting older, son. You got to have Jesus in your life. See, because there'll come a time when you won't be able to do the things that you're able to do now." He said, "Look at me. I used to be healthy and walking around and running sometimes, but look now. I have to work a while and sit down and get up and work again. But that's all right. God is with me now." He said, "So get Jesus and stay with Jesus and everything will be all right. 'Cause I'm getting old, older. Yes, I am. Older every day. I'm getting nearer, nearer to my grave, to my grave. Lord, I need you to help me, Lord, and show me the way. Show me. Oh, yes, I do, Lord. Show me the way. I'm getting older. Older. Oh, yes, I am. Older every day. I'm getting nearer, Lord. To my grave. Oh Lord, I need to help me, Lord, and show me the way. Show me, Lord, show me the way. You see that I'm climbing Jacob's ladder, yes I am. Lord, I'm knocking at your door. Oh Lord, I need you to reach out, Lord. Take my hand and never let it go. Never let it go. Never let it go. I'm getting old, older. Oh, yes, I am. Every day. I'm getting near.
Okay, that was the Keys of Harmony. I'm getting older. I'd like to say that I don't own the rights to the music, but I do have permission to play it. And them guys are like brothers to me. And I've been knowing them for years. So, as I said before, I don't own the rights to the music, but I do have permission to play the music for them. By the way, getting back to my subject, we need love for each other, and I hope and pray that the good Lord, that all this violence and shooting dies down. Let me make this this is one more. Let me say something about the 11 children and the 2 teachers that got killed in Texas. And 19. Those was innocent babies. They was innocent babies in school trying to learn education or trying to learn whatever the teacher was teaching them. They was trying to learn. Then they help them on the way. But anytime you got a coward, come to the back door and go to one of the classrooms and start opening fire. That's a sick man. 19 innocent babies. 19 innocent babies. Wasn't doing nothing but minding their own business. Probably laughing and joking. Some was probably singing songs and their own favorite song that came, and the teacher's trying to teach them, and she's probably getting ready to tell them something else to learn. And you got this no good fool coming in there putting away. Say they shot so bad, that AR-17 said when they hit, they had to take a DNA from the parents to learn that the child's, recognize the family of the child. And this goes back, let's go back to 1955. I believe the young man was 13 or 14, Emmett Till. He got hung for nothing by somebody lying. And they hung this young man. He was a baby, but they hung him. And from the beginning of the story, they got away, the men got away with the killing, but they didn't get away with the kidnapping. And somewhere down a few years later, the young lady came up, the old little girl came up and told the truth. But he's gone. That's one. But what makes, so the best part about it was, Emmett Till's mother had the casket open so they can see what they did to her baby. Let them see the ugliness that they did, that destroyed. That's not being ugly, that's the ugliness of it. But these babies, their parents can't open up the casket and look at them. Their bodies are toward the shreds, ripped up. Once that bullet hits you, it's ripping the whole body up. You're gone. But this fool here, this character here, didn't even care. He just had something like, I guess it's known as his toy. And if that's his toy, then he's a very sick man. And those 19 children is something else. Right now, my heart's going to, we're getting ready to take a little breather right here, but like I said, the music I have here is, I have permission to play it, but I don't own the music. So take care, enjoy yourself, and don't take no wooden nickels.